Welcome to the Wagas Innovation Talks. This podcast offers you an insight into recent innovations in the tech business, driven by research and industry insight. We are talking to researchers and professionals to share their expertise, experience, and projects with us. As a think tank and accelerator, we support tech startups and corporations in growing their business. We believe innovation is key to growth and hope to shine light on academic research and experts with real-life industry experience. To learn more, visit wagas-group.com and find all our podcast episodes plus articles and resources to expand your horizon on tech innovations. I'm your host, Livia van Herde, Marketing and Sales Manager at Wagas, and today we had the honor to welcome Pierluigi Coscia to the podcast. Pier is an Italian business manager with over 25 years of experience. He has extensive knowledge in large global business organizations, as well as managing several startups. He supported Unicom Engineering as Head of Business Development EMEA for 2 years. In addition, as a founding member of Dell OEM EMEA, he greatly contributed to growth in countries including the UK, Spain, Portugal, Benelux, and Italy. He most recently founded Olu Coaching, an organization that provides neurocoaching. His passion project is Educare, a non-profit organization he founded in 2014 in Dublin. The charity's goal is to provide education to vulnerable children in Vietnam and Tanzania, with plans to help children in Ireland as well. Pier believes education is the best resource to grant children a viable future in order to secure a way out of poverty, thus promoting the dignity for every person. Their mission is to create a significant change in the lives of children by striving for a child deprivation-free world. Welcome to the podcast, Pier.
Thank you so much. Well, thanks for having me.
Today's episode is about corporate social responsibility and philanthropic activities. You are the founder of Educare and you have over 6 years of experience in management of a non-profit. Can you explain what the mission of Educare is?
Sure. So Educare is an Irish organization, and we have projects in Vietnam, Tanzania, and soon we will start also in Ireland, an Aftercare program. And the only thing that Educare wants to do is providing education to vulnerable children. And we believe that responsibility is a collective and should be a collective accountability when it comes to children, especially. Which means that we are all responsible for them, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, beliefs, and social cultural background. Okay. At the moment, we have more than 800 children with 3 programs in Vietnam and 2 in Tanzania, who, thanks to the work Educare is doing and the generosity of volunteers and donors, they can attend school instead of working at a very young age. So, as I mentioned, we have 3 programs in Vietnam. At the moment, we have a public school enrollment for 81 children. We have a teaching facility for 53 children. And then we are now this year starting an education learning center in the north of Vietnam for more than 200 children. And this includes also 100 children that will get a scholarship. All these kids can only count on us to get their education. So it's really important. The 2 programs in Tanzania, one is the Lengiloriti Primary School, is a Maasai community with more than 20,000 people in the community, and we provide education to 560 children. And then we have a Karim orphanage with 21 children in school and more children that we host in the daycare center.
And how did you choose the locations? So you mentioned Tanzania and in the future Ireland and Vietnam, was it right?
Yeah, it's actually something we didn't decide and plan up front. It was just for meeting that we had by chance. So we started in Vietnam because 11 years ago I was traveling to Vietnam because I love traveling,
Yeah.
and my tour guide, the Vietnamese guy, I was talking
Mhm.
about these things that I was trying to do, and he said, "Why don't we do something for children in Vietnam?" I said, "Why not? You know, for us, a child is a child, and that's what we want to do." So that's how we started. Now he's still volunteering with us, after so many years. And Tanzania is it's because we are
Mhm.
charity partner with LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and they were already doing something in Tanzania, and they said we need a proper charity to take care of that. So shall we work it together? And that's how we started to work with Tanzania as well.
So you mentioned you're a charity partner with LinkedIn. What does that mean? I've never heard of that. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are so many companies have a corporate social responsibility program,
Mhm.
and like all many companies, including LinkedIn, they have a social impact
Mhm.
program. And as part of this program, there is a Traveling for Good initiative. So through the network, we got engaged with LinkedIn, and then we plan together what we do for the year. So we make a plan and we say, okay, this year we want to do these events, we want to do this
Mhm.
kind of activities to fundraise, and then they help us to fundraise. And the good thing is that LinkedIn matches every single dollar that that they collect. So
Amazing.
if we do a concert, we did a concert last year for and we collected $15,000, and
Mhm.
LinkedIn matched it, so it became 30,000.
Wow.
No,
Yeah.
so it's really great. So that means partnership means that we are recognized by this company,
Mhm.
which is LinkedIn, and we have volunteers inside LinkedIn. They donate their skills and time, and we organize things together based on their focus, because every company is different.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I've never heard about that.
Yeah, we have also other organization that we are engaging with now. One is Google. So every company, depending on the situation, every company has a different approach.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we try to understand. We create a relationship with. We identify a volunteer within the company that becomes the partner development manager. So together with the company, we organize a plan. For instance, Google organize this year they did the holiday giving, so they were asking to employees to nominate a charity, and they were matching, they were giving the credit they were uh, promising. So
Mhm.
it's just literally finding out how the company wants to work with a charity.
I see. Wow. Moving into a bit of a different direction here, the current pandemic disrupted many parts of our lives and also how the world works and runs in general. Have you observed a surge in distress due to COVID?
Oh yeah, I did, and this was impacting at any level, both companies and individual, and of course the charity were not an exception.
Hmm.
There is a study that says that charities this year would collect more or less an average of 50% of the donations they were collecting the previous year.
Hmm.
And this
Hmm.
is not just for the crisis, economical crisis, but it's also for the uncertainty that this situation brought.
Hmm.
And so, as I said, many companies struggle to adjust to the new normal. And
Hmm.
not every company is ready, for instance, to go digital and to organize the things remotely. Think about the education system. The digital was at all present in the school.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
companies are, due to the uncertainty, they are reducing the workforce. They are sometimes closing the business. So I feel that I keep saying that in every challenge there is always an opportunity.
Yeah.
So those that are able to take the advantage of this situation, they are actually accelerating the digital
Hmm.
transformation that already started, as a trend in the past, but now is becoming even more urgent. And so those that can embrace this new situation will actually grow and prosper. Okay.
Hmm.
But on a personal, individual level, I see that people are suffering from depression, lack of social activities. They sometimes feel alone. It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
So it's really important to connect, no matter if it's digital
Yeah,
or
yeah.
not. But yeah, this is the very very tough situation we globally we found ourselves in. You know.
You mentioned that you want to become active in Ireland as well. Does that come from the pandemic, or is that entirely different motivation behind it?
The what, the aftercare, you mean, the project?
Yes, yeah.
No, this is actually an idea that it's on the table for quite long, and
Hmm.
we were
Hmm.
supposed to start in 2020,
Hmm.
and we put on hold because we were struggling for fundraising and for the actual program. So
I see.
we didn't go ahead now, but now is the time, and what we are trying to do now is. Liaising with other charities, because I
Hmm.
believe also in collaboration at any level. So we can work together with other charities, and we
Hmm.
bring together a program where every charity is focusing on what they are good at. And
Hmm.
the idea is to do something in Ireland, because I'm Italian, but I live in Ireland.
Yeah,
So a child is a child, as I said before. So
right.
we are here in Ireland. We are taking care of children in Vietnam and Tanzania. We
Yeah,
want to do something also for the children that are
yeah,
left behind here in Ireland. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. So I think everyone agrees that helping children is an honorable mission. But what are the benefits for society in caring for the most vulnerable children, would you say?
Absolutely. So, first of all, we need to consider the fact that education is a fundamental right that every child should have, and
Hmm.
sometimes we forget that because we give
Yeah.
for granted that education is something normal. We have it.
Hmm.
We don't even think about that. But what is the benefit for the society is that I believe that a better educated society will prosper more. Uh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it's like in the body, in the human body.
Hmm.
If the lungs are healthy but the liver is not, the full body is in pain.
Right. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
the lung doesn't say, oh, I'm okay, so who cares? No, the full body is in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And same in the company. If let's say in a team, one of the team member is performing but the others is not,
Mm-hmm.
the team member that is performing should care, understand, and find out how to help the other person to perform as well, because ultimately is the organization that has to grow at once, not just
Mm-hmm.
individuals. Taking care of others is also good for society in other ways. Let's say that if we help a child to get their education, ultimately they get a position in the society. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just a charity work. It's something that helps this child to not be exposed to criminality. So
Yeah.
you see where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
educated children have more people stable in the society and not exposed to criminality. So it's a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
But so again, I believe in collective responsibility. Giving back is great also way for helping ourselves
Mm-hmm.
to have
Mm-hmm.
a higher purpose. We it helps us to also to be grateful and appreciate for what we have, because sometimes again we give things for granted, and sometimes it helps us to minimize problems that we see big. And this is actually an experience that I have on myself. I'm a perfect example of that. So by doing this work I'm doing, actually I had a chance to overcome what was becoming for me a massive stressful and some extent depressive situation. you know
Mm-hmm.
so again, helping is increasing your social skill and the relational skill. It helps also to learn new skills. It helps to reduce stress. It helps to explore interest, to open to new culture, to reduce bias, to challenge yourself, and ultimately it gave a new perspective of life. So this is all benefits that are for individuals and also ultimately for the society itself.
Mm-hmm. And was that the response of the volunteers that helped Educare as well? So, did the volunteers have that same experience as you? Did their work help themselves as well?
Totally, absolutely. This is, it's not just my experience; it's also what I hear from the volunteers, and I enjoy so much when I see people that, thanks to Educare, they get in touch and actually they help each other. I've heard a numerous situation where one of the volunteer was struggling with the work, and then he got a new job thanks to the connection he or she had
Amazing.
on the organization. And we also are, especially this year, will be the focus on volunteer management. We want to give back to the volunteers also training courses, and they experience new skills. So let's say that someone is doing a job that they are not really much interested because they found themselves on that job, but they are not, so they can explore new skills with the volunteering, and then they can put that on their CV. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
see this all the time, and many people are telling me that they are really getting a big advantage in terms of upskilling, in terms of connectivity, in terms of well-being.
Hmm. Hmm. Are there parallels of nonprofit management to managing a business? It is a different thing, right? But are there parallels?
Yeah, so there are parallels that, like, leadership skills are really important. You need to consider when you are managing volunteers that motivation is even more difficult
Hmm. Hmm.
because they are donating their free time, so
Exactly. Yeah.
it's not a priority. And what we are asking now and we are pushing for is proactivity, because the organization, so Educare is fully based on volunteering.
Hmm.
So if everyone does their job, all the work will prosper. But if people start to not deliver, then the organization will slow down. So it's really difficult. Leadership skills are there, but motivating volunteers is different than motivating
Of
employees.
course.
But the dynamic of motivation and find out what exactly the person is interested to do
Hmm.
uh, is very similar to a company, for sure.
Right.
It's more challenging, definitely.
Well, I hope this episode already inspired our listeners to start contributing to charities. For those who are motivated to make a change, do you have some advice? How can individuals and businesses get more involved in philanthropic activities?
Yeah, so I repeat again my concept, because it's a very central concept, which is the collective responsibility. So I believe that if everyone would do a little, we would have a better world. Okay, everyone can donate, depending on their situation. They can, if they don't have time, they want to donate money. It's okay. If they have no money, they can donate their time, their skills.
Yeah.
So usually, I advise people to choose a charity. Of course, we always say we would like to have you on board on Educare, but we have different sensibilities. So based on our experience, maybe we had someone with cancer in our family or a friend, and then we want to do something for that. So what I say is, choose your charity and support it based on again, on your sensibility, and do your work as much as you can. So companies can, individual can donate, and many actually are already doing it as part of their, their organization. Uh, as I was mentioning, for the CSR, corporate social responsibility, we encourage every company to create a plan and encourage every employee to be part of it. This will help to contribute something positive to our local communities. To sometimes organizations are offering volunteer time off, so within their time paid by the company, they can donate. And this is a plan we are doing with Dell and Indeed. So they donate, let's say, 10 hours per quarter, paid by the company. So during the working time, they can volunteer, and the company actually is also matching that hour with $10. So you don't get just the time available, but you also get some funds from the company where they work at.
Right.
So it creates also team building uh, as well.
Mhm.
The company can endorse ethical labor practices like inclusion and diversity is one of the topic that is more recurrent in companies. And some of the companies cover employees' donation, as I mentioned with LinkedIn, they match, the donation.
Yeah.
So this is a multiplier effect.
So, do you personally think that it is better that businesses contribute time by asking the employees to volunteer, or do you think donations are more powerful? What do you personally think?
Both of them are important because if you have donations and you don't tell people that can deliver the project, you have to hire people, and then there is less money for the projects.
Right.
So it's both important. If you have only time and you don't have money, you cannot do projects. So it's really equal important.
Hmm.
Of course, without funds, you cannot do anything. But
Mm.
without people volunteering, you cannot do as well. So
And your experience is in child education, right? What do you think? Can everyday people volunteer to a charity that is about child education?
absolutely. So we organized Educare like a company.
Hmm.
So we have departments. We have the marketing department, the fundraising department. We have the
Hmm.
legal and finance operations. So what we do is we ask people that wants to volunteer, what are your skills?
Hmm.
Is your time available, and what we need? These are the three criteria, and based on these three things, we can put them in a team. So we have a director in each department, and we have team coordinators. Okay,
Hmm.
so the team coordinators are ultimately the one that are making sure that the work is done.
Yeah.
So everyone can do something.
Hmm.
uh, let's say a digital marketing expert
Hmm.
can help us to increase our visibility. A programmer can help us to have a better website. But also, let's say a person that is a mom full time can organize a small event, baking or cooking class or something, to fundraise. So uh, there is no limit. Everyone, really literally everyone with any kind of skill can do
Yeah.
something.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks to you, Livia. Thanks.
I hope you had fun.
My pleasure. And if there is any question that you might have, or people that are listening to this podcast might have, you can give our contact details, our website, our social media, and they can be in touch with us. And again, this is something that can be done anywhere in the world. We have volunteers in Portugal, in Italy, in France, in Germany, in Austria, in Vietnam, of course, in Ireland. So this can be done. We are fully digital, transformed. So this can be done from anywhere in the world.
Amazing. So they can look you up and get in touch with you online.
Thank you so much.
You can read more at wagas-group.com. This has been your Innovation Talks podcast produced by Livia van Herde. Make sure to check back next month for the latest insight in innovation.